No.
A little lateral thalamus. So what's...
Oh, that structure.
That bean-shaped structure, yes, that one, the bean-shaped.
Oh,
Yeah, it's part of your basal nucleus. And then surrounding the lentiform,
Internal capsule.
internal capsule, correct. Yeah. And then when you start getting out into towards the cortex, then it becomes corona radiata. But right around the lentiform, it's all internal capsule.
And then under the internal capsule, then you have the caudate nucleus, right? Or
Caudate is medial to it, yeah.
okay,
The best way to see those.
it's on that. Okay.
You push me.
So those red structures that we see right under the ventricle there, right? That's all caudate, that red there. But before you get to that, you've got insula. And then you've got lentiform nucleus surrounded by internal capsule. And then on the other side of that, then you've got your caudate
Okay.
and thalamus. So what are these little spaces right in there? It's an open space.
The lateral ventricle?
It's part of it. Which part of it?
Lateral.
Interior fluid.
That is. And then what would be the gray matter that's pink here? That's C-shaped and following that.
Caudate nucleus.
Here, what's this gray matter? So it's medial to caudate.
Spielberg.
Medial to caudate.
Mm-hmm. More gray matter, right towards the midline now. Two halves of it. Diencephalon.
Intermediate mass.
Thalamus.
Sorry, which structure is it? What were you looking at?
Right here.
Oh, that entire
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is thalamus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so easy.
No?
No.
That's like balls.
Like looking at it from this angle, this is actually thalamus. That's the geniculate body right there of the thalamus. A lot of it's hidden. We're used to seeing it from a mid-sagittal view where we see a very small part of it, but it actually, as you go laterally, it gets bigger and bigger. It's a pretty big structure, which you can tell better from this guy. That's all thalamus.
Спиной чисто всех закрыл.
I know. I'll put it back together for
Not talking
100th
about
time. This is all thalamus. It's all thalamus. We're just used to seeing that part of it, but it expands. So we've got the vermis of the cerebellum. We've got thalamus. We've got caudate. We've got anterior horn. We've got, what's this deep groove right here? Longitudinal fissure. We've got the internal capsules here. Okay. And then what's this structure here?
Once.
Okay. And these little columns up here on the sides?
Peduncles.
Which ones?
Cerebral.
Cerebral peduncles. And what are these structures here?
Olfactory bulb and trap.
Yeah. And here, nerve, optic, cranial nerve 2, and then right here, this structure. Uh-huh. And then these bumps right here.
The quadrigeminal? Oh,
Mammillary bodies.
Not green.
Mammillary bodies.
Where's the quadrigeminal is on the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then what's this structure between chiasm and mammillary bodies? something has been cut. That's like a little stub of it right there.
Is that the infundibulum?
Infundibulum.
Right? So that's where the infundibulum was cut. And the pituitary would hang out just in front of it. What lobes are these part of?
Occipital,
Nope.
temporal,
Cranial nerve. Two's here.
oh,
3. And then coming around from the back is 4. And then right here on the sides,
Trigeminal. 5.
5, trigeminal. What's this one here? See how it's in front of the olive? So what is that?
12,
It is 12. And then what's this one?
11.
That's all 11. Yep. And then if we go back up here, this is,
6. Obeisance.
and then here,
7. Facial.
7, and then behind it,
Vestibulocochlear.
8, and then, so here's 9. Right, they're showing you more than just a little stub this time. So you can actually see quite a bit of 9. And then they're doing the same thing with this one. And you can actually see how it starts to head down the neck. That's 10. So you have 9, 10, and then all of this is 11. Yeah, and then back up to 12. Nerve plexuses. You've got cervical plexus, brachial plexus, which is this whole bundle of nerves that goes into the upper limbs. There is no plexus in the thoracic region, just thoracic nerves, which form the intercostal nerves. But then you get back down to the bottom and you have 2 more plexuses. You have a lumbar plexus and you have a sacral plexus. So coming off of the cervical plexus, this is one nerve you'll need to know. It goes down to the diaphragm. There's one on each side. Innervates diaphragm. When this nerve is irritated, you get hiccups.
it's long word.
You think? I think it's like 6 letters, 7 letters.
Yes.
Starts with a PH.
Oh,
Phrenic.
Yeah.
Phrenic. From the lumbar plexus, you need to know this big nerve that runs anterior to the hip, goes through the anterior thigh, controls anterior thigh muscles. Femoral nerve. Right there. And the reason these are called plexuses or networks is because when the ventral rami come off of the cord, they mix together. Nerve fibers within the rami mix together. So like this femoral nerve here, you can see some of it's coming from this ramus, some of it's coming from this ramus, some of it's coming from this ramus. So all of these nerve fibers are mixing together to form this one nerve. Same thing down here. So from this ramus, this ramus, this ramus, this ramus, you have this, all of them mixing together to form this huge nerve that goes behind the hip. Biggest nerve in the body, sciatic nerve. Yep.
And the top one you said it was femoral?
Femoral's right here. So femoral comes off the lumbar plexus. Sciatic comes off of the sacral plexus. What's this big horsetail called?
Cauda equina.
Cauda equina. And then the cone-shaped tip of the cord,
Conus medullaris.
conus medullaris. And then the extension of it that goes all the way down to the coccyx,
Filum terminale.
filum terminale. Groove,
Central canal.
just a groove on the surface,
File.
not a hole.
The fissure, anterior fissure.
Anterior, median,
Maybe
fissure.
fissure. Right. Close enough.
This is all part of the sympathetic chain ganglia, but That's chapter 14. That won't be on the exam, so don't worry about that one. Nerves we can't see from this model, but nerves that come off of the brachial plexus that you'll need to know include ulnar, radial, median, and musculocutaneous. And we can see a lot of those on the upper limb model. Also this guy here. So we have a few cranial nerves on here. But they don't show all of them, so I don't think I would use them. And they're combining 9 and 10 right here. That's 12. 11's right below it. I can't tell if that's supposed to be 7 and 8 or just 8. It looks like 7, 8. So I wouldn't use that for cranial nerves. But from everything else is fine. So you have cervical plexus, brachial plexus, and the nerves that come off of the brachial plexus. Lumbar plexus, and the nerve you need to know that comes off of it, which is femoral. So it goes in front of the hip. And then here's sacral plexus, the big nerve coming off of there going behind the hip, sciatic. And once sciatic gets down behind the knee, it splits. So sciatic itself is a composite nerve. It consists of tibial and common fibular.
So when it flares up, it's just flaring up, or is it being pinched?
Pressure or pinched, something is irritating it. Yeah. This branch that comes off is common fibular, so it's headed to the outside of the leg. And then what's really a continuation of sciatic is tibial. It goes right down the tibia, so it makes sense. So that's tibial right here. And this is a branch off of it. So you just need to know common fibular, tibial, and then what they come off of, the sciatic.
To point out the cranial nerve, we can use the smaller.
That one's good for cranial nerves, I think, yeah. So here's sciatic again. It's coming down. It splits in the back. That's femoral. Sciatic, sciatic's disappearing there. It goes behind here. And then we can see the common fibular branch coming out right there. And then the tibial coming down the back there. And then over here, thumb side. So you know that radius side. So this must be radial nerve. And you can follow it. It goes under there, it comes back out on the other side. And then, how about this one? Pinky side.
Ulnar?
Ulnar nerve. Mm-hmm. Same thing over here. You can follow it up. And then which one would be between ulnar and radial? Median. So you have ulnar, radial, median, and musculocutaneous. And this is part of musculocutaneous right here.
It is for this lab exam also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stuff that we're going to cover this week. Coming up. Let's check the
So is
grade.
that chapter
13.